Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You served and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service, interests, and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
getting into this particular business, it was very important for us to make sure that we were putting out the most authentic product. Sugarland's Distilling Company is a fantastic distillery in downtown Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Our goal is to spread across the country. We would love your help in doing that.
Yes, sir. Hello and welcome to the ISCA's recruitment race. This is Big Al. I'm your host, and boy, do we got an exciting one here for you tonight. Got a little bit smaller field, only 12 cars, but that's not going to stop us from having a good time as we are here at Chicagoland. That's right. Chicago's a very own super speedway. Only in sim, though, not longer in reality. Drivers are still out there right now, still conducting their warm-ups. We're going to be here all night. Looks like we got ourselves a doozy. This one's going to be scheduled for 3 stages. First stage, it's on lap 35-36. Second stage and into laps 59 to 60, or 60 to 61, sorry. And then finally, we'll be ending this thing at 167 laps. Thought I was trying to catch my breath. Got a little bit out of shape there. Coming on around turn 3. Got a little out of sorts, and we're still trying to put it together. Let's look at the track conditions down here tonight. Right now, shows that the air temperature is 76 degrees. Track temp, 84 degrees. Got a little bit of wind out of the west. Partly cloudy skies. This one's going to be a real doozy. Been watching this whole thing unfold this weekend. I'll tell you, Chicagoland is probably going to come down to a race between setup makers, manufacturers, and race teams. That's what it's going to come down to. Got a lot of strong setups coming out of all of the setup camps. Can't wait to put them all together, see how this one works out. Got a lot of fast guys, fast cars. This is the track that, ultimately, if you know it, you know it. And if you love it, you love it. All right. Qualifying underway here. This is going to be just Big Al up in the booth tonight, as no one is going to be joining me. As a matter of fact, I didn't tell you that. I am your host, Big Al. Joining in tonight, I'll be dragging you through all 167 laps of this thing. Not going to have any kind of lag. I tell you, should have a good time. Weather conditions are favorable, and all the drivers seem to have come prepared. Matter of fact, it looks like we actually have 14 cars that are on the docket here tonight. Now, those of you that are watching this, if you want to actually come out and try your hand at it, these races are going to be going on throughout the rest of the off season. I think this is going to be going on until February. So you got until then to actually come out here, stretch your legs, and show us what you're made of. So if you think you got what it takes, go ahead and get in contact with the folks over at the ISCA. That's Kenny Powell. You can find him on iRacing. You can also find him on PayPal. And you can definitely find him on YouTube. The ISCA promises some of the best, most exciting racing on the iRacing circuit. You're definitely not going to find any better competition. And I'm going to tell you, when the guys come out here, they definitely bring it. Qualification underway. Looks like I've got a couple times coming in now. Right now, David Fuge Jr. is going to be on the top of that thing, turning about a 30.284. Don't think that's going to actually be enough, as we were seeing times in the 27s. I'm sorry, in the 29s during warm up and practice. You know, another thing, not sure exactly how many drivers have been actually able to get in a good solid practice run or race runs. I know some of the opens have been a little sparse, been a little, you know, I'm going to say sketchy. There you go. Some of the A opens have been a little sketchy, so drivers probably not been able to get as long as green flag runs as they want, which that's going to be something that comes into play here tonight. We're going to see how these guys are doing. Currently, right now, looks like we're showing Kendall LeVron. He is on the top of the leaderboard, sporting a 30.043. Going to see if that's going to be strong enough to hold. Right now on your screen, you're seeing a 24 car, Kenny Powell. He's going to be putting in his first lap. What to expect tonight? I think I can tell you should expect a lot of green flag racing. That's what we're kind of hoping for. I think tires are not going to be as big of a consideration, especially until we get into that third and final stage. First stage always going to be hot and heavy. I think that's when the drivers actually come out and take their biggest stabs and see how they're stacking up here tonight. Like I said, we're going to be here throughout the entirety of the evening. Still watching that qualifying board. Now we got Mark Sanchez actually on the top of the leaderboard. And interesting to note that Mark is the only driver right now that is sporting a sub 30 second lap. Mark Sanchez coming in at a 29.982. And that's definitely got to make Mark feel pretty good, because I know this guy, you know, he is a guy he'll be on the track, he'll be practicing, he'll be making it happen lap after lap. That's where you can count on seeing him. So it looks like that is actually paying off, and we can't wait to see if not only if that sticks, but if Mark can actually possibly get his second win here in the ISCA. He actually did achieve his first win. I do believe it was the start of this last 2024 season. Actually won at Daytona. 30 seconds left in qualifying. I tell you, we're going to take a step away, get a couple of brief words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back here with the starting order at the ISCA recruitment race here tonight in Chicagoland Speedway.
You served and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
And we are back. It's exciting as it is. We're getting ready for the start of the night's main event right now. We are lined up. Drivers still receiving their grid instructions, and we're actually going to go through the grid on the pole, starting for the first time. Mark Sanchez in the 29 Chevrolet with Rodrigo Loga is going to be outside there in P2. P3 is going to show Kendall LeBron. He's going to be driving that Ford Mustang. He's going to have Randy Mullins on the outside of him. Starting in fifth is going to be J.C. Evans with Dave Hughes Jr. Starting next to him, seventh place shows Randy Drumhiller, while eighth place shows Kenny Powell. Ninth place is going to show Jose Medina with Ryan Dillon starting in the 10th row. 10th spot. 11th place Greg Wachinski. 12th place Chris Severa. 13th place, Brian Johnson, and Derek Jacobs is going to round out this 14-car field here tonight. With qualifying complete and the gridding done, we're going to be getting ready to take this thing green, and I'm telling you, it's going to be an exciting race here tonight. Can't wait to see what the strategies are. Hopefully we can keep this thing green enough that the drivers will truly be able to go out and execute and show their own strategies. The off-season is a big time for testing. You know, it's one of those things where, in my opinion, if you don't keep that axe sharpened, it's just going to go dull. So for these drivers to be out here and giving their time and still kind of keeping that axe sharp, we appreciate that. And I'm doing the same thing. That's exactly what I'm doing up here in the booth. I'm actually just trying to keep this voice sharp, trying to make certain that we can stay on top of what's going on, work all of the kinks and bugs out. Chicagoland Speedway has probably been, a topic of discussion in real world as much as the same as this course. This track, I do believe, is not going to exist anymore for racing. I think it's been turned over to development property, and now we do the Chicago race. It's actually done downtown Chicago, and that's always looks like it's going to be 4th of July weekend going forward. So there's a little happy story in that for everybody. Plus, this new next-gen car gives us a unique opportunity to turn left and right, and that definitely makes a huge difference as well because, it opens up so many more possibilities and tracks and places that we can go and things that we can do. I just believe that the last car just it was not friendly for turning left and right, and so therefore the sport itself was limited. Now, we all know that the sport is changing. I think we're all excited about that. But one thing I'm excited about getting this race underway here this evening. Scheduled for 167 laps. Should be a doozy. A lot of drivers will not used to seeing up front and be leading this thing off. What does that mean? Is that good things? Is that bad things? We'll have to see. But I'm excited. I'm excited that Mark Sanchez is out there. Not sure. Don't think we've ever seen Rodrigo Loga actually in the field before. But Kendall LeBron, we're no stranger to him and Randy Mullins. With J.C. Evans also up front. So that's a very interesting top five to say the least. Can't just wait to see what this one brings for us. Pace car lights are off. That means we are one to go before we get this thing underway. Coming around turn 2. Rolling around the backstretch. Turn 2 is going to be a unique turn tonight. Drivers are going to be wanting to try to carry as much speed as they can in the 2. And they're going down that backstretch, giving her all she's got, and then once again, kind of lifting just slightly going into 3 and carrying around into 4. And then it's going to get real crazy after that because once they come around the front, you can expect to see 3 wide. You can expect to see 4 wide. I think they're going to do anything they have to do to get it done, and you got plenty of room to do about anything you can imagine as far as racing right here on this racetrack. Lights once again, lights off on the pace car. He's been getting up and out of the way, and we're ready to take and hit that loud pedal, as Brian would say, and take this thing green, and hope we can keep it there. Field in the hand of Mark Sanchez, and he is on the go. Got a great start there. Stinky come the outside road, kind of sleeping a little bit, as well as down under. Sanchez would wasting no time getting up front where he is going to stay on the top of the high side. This is going to be bad news for Mr. Rodrigo Loga, as now he is just going to have to settle in and see what he can make happen. J.C. Evans finds himself down on the inside, trying to make his way around. Probably didn't get the line that he wanted, but looks like he is trying to make it work. Got a car coming along the outside beside him. That car is going to be none other than Dave Hughes Jr. Dave Hughes Jr., another driver that we've been seeing here that's a little bit more of late in the ISCA. Definitely got a promise to see big things coming from him, but right now we've got a challenge for the lead. As Rodrigo Loga is going to become our new leader. Mark Sanchez able to get just 2 laps in the books, maybe 1 lap there as the leader, but now it's about Sanchez to manage the game. Little 3-wide, 2-wide situation going on further in the pack. Right now, drivers just trying to let these cars come into themselves, trying to get those tires warm, trying to develop a strategy. Once again, though, stage 1, probably going to be the time to go out there and actually just run and hammer down so you can see what adjustments, if any, need to be made to the car, because you really don't know how that thing's going to get until you actually put it out there in race conditions. Brian Johnson making his way around Jose Medina and Brian Dillon. Johnson's on that high side now. Look like he has finally got something that he is willing to make work. He's going to be out there for the majority of the evening. As Kenny Powell in the 24th car gets up next, close and personal. Getting sideways right there. Hold it down. He's going to be sliding through the infield. Should not see a caution as you were riding with Kenny Powell. He was cutting the grass. That is not going to work out in his favor, but once again, we should stay clean and green as he was off the racing surface. The 31 car, Rodrigo Loga, still dragging us around the racetrack here. Let's look at what happened again. Let's go back and take the replay. Kenny gets right down on that apron, and that causes the butt end of the car to kind of step out. He does a great job, though, of keeping that thing off the racing lane. And then he just takes the bubble on that, as he is going to be doing everything he can at this point to hope that he can remain on the lead lap, at least until we get into the first stage break. But that's a long way to go. So, Kenny's going to definitely have his hands full, but way to go to avoid the caution. I think nobody wanted to see that, man, and that's just a great piece of driving. Now it looks like we got another challenge for the lead. It's a 54 car, Randy Mullins. He's going to be trying to make his way around, and now absolutely, without almost any contest, he becomes the leader. But a little crossover move there as Robia, I doesn't think Loga, he is not ready to just give that one away. So far, we're only 5 laps into this thing, and we've already had 3 lap changes. Sorry, 8 laps into this thing. Field's starting to spread apart just a little bit, as our leaders are definitely starting to break away from the back of the field. I think right there at the end of that lead group is going to be the 48 car. That 48 car is going to should be I'm sorry I'm having problems here with my Yeah, it is a 48 car. I'm just not seeing it on the logo. I did think I was crazy, but we'll figure it out. Everybody tries to play tricks on Big Al, makes him think he's losing his mind. 99 car. Really got his hands full to Jose with the 48 car. I do believe that is Jose Medina. Right there on the inside of him is going to be that 22 car, Dave Hughes Jr. Green flag racing continues. Definitely starting to look more and more like it's going to be a drive away. Now, that continues, especially if we have a caution. That's one of the things we're going to be looking for. But right now, driver sheets having to do the best they can to kind of stay in line and not lose too much of that lead draft. Because, you know, if you lose that draft, that's going to spell big problems for these guys. The number 4 car, Brian Johnson, he is right there. With that top 5, he's probably the last car in the breakaway. And there's a lot of bit of gap there between him and the 6th place car. And that's going to be Kendall LeBron. A little bit racier back there past Mr. LeBron, as these guys are definitely giving everything they can. Trying to make it happen. Contact! The 94 car gets one loose, makes contact. Woo! That was really, really lucky. Great piece of driving there of the 94 car. If we can go back and take a look at that, we'll see exactly what took place. Yeah, it looks like right here, coming around the turn, he just comes down onto the nose. 22 car does a very good job of actually missing him as well. And, you know, once again, that could have proved to be very ugly, but we actually dodged disaster once again to continue green flag racing. That bear with me, I'm making a little bit of adjustment here. Race still underway. Looks like we did catch the 24 car of Kenny Powell. Now he's going to find himself becoming the first car. It's actually a lap down. Not sure what's going on because Kenny's going to fall way to the tail end of that lead lap traffic. So he's going to probably have to try to figure that out. But right now we're showing that Randy Mullins is our leader. And he is getting the job done. You gotta love Randy Mullins. I'm only seeing the top 5 of the season. He's actually leading the race. Randy had a pretty good season here this past season. Did make the playoffs, didn't drop too deep into the playoffs, so that's something I'm sure he's going to be looking forward to changing here in the future. Right now, the 44 car, Randy Drumhiller, is getting a little bit of a lead in the drive-off away from what you should see was actually the 48 car, Jose Medina. Later, Randy Mullins just getting a little bit of a lead. Probably his biggest lead of the night right now as he's out to 0.3 of a second over P2, Rodrigo Loga. J.C. Evans finds himself up in the 3rd spot. That's definitely got to make him feel good. These guys have had a lot of tough breaks there with that 9 car. But maybe tonight this could be something that they could actually, turn their luck, because this is truly a run what you run, one done kind of race. You really only get bragging rights for 1 week. So who's going to win this thing? Could be anybody's. And a lot of drivers out here that we hadn't seen. Chris Severa, good to note on him, as he's out all the way in the back of the field. Has made his way all the way up into 7th place. Chris is going to be definitely getting the drive off. So that's going to be one driver we'll be talking about. Caution is out. Caution is out. Still looking to see what exactly took place. Might be with a 27 car. That's going to be Derek Jacobs. Not sure exactly what the 22. We got the 22 car on pit road. Maybe we could check and see if the 22 car was involved in this. Yep, Dave Hughes Jr. hard into the wall. That's probably going to end his night, guys. That's probably one of the harder hits that we've seen in this league here. What goes on? Looks like he just slightly gets caught up with the 14. 14's to be coming down on the. Oh, sorry, coming down on the inside. Is that the 24 car? Oh yeah, she just started spinning. Yeah, right there. He just got loose and started to step out and unfortunately made contact with what I believe to be the 94 car. Pit road busy right now as we actually be taking our first pit stop of the day. With this in progress, we're going to take a brief step away, hear the word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back with the iRacing Recruitment 200 here at the Chicagoland Speedway. I'm your lonely solo host, Big Al. We got Cody Jordan pulling the strings, working the scenes from behind the scenes. Definitely glad to have his assistance tonight. Got ourselves a car field of 14. One of the 14 found himself in a risky situation with the wall. That's Dave Hughes Jr. That has actually brought out the first caution of the night. A lot of action on pit road. It's going to make this one truly a race or chase to stage one. But remember, drivers, this is all just for fun. Kenny Powell is going to be trying to get his lap back, as currently he is a lap down, be trying to get the wave around. But wow, it's been pretty uneventful so far. Just been a dang good race. A lot of fast cars down on the racetrack as well. It's the 24 gets the wave around. Lights out on the pace car. Time to double them up. We will be going green flag racing this time around. And that's going to be it. That's something that you don't want to hear. Is Kenny looks like Kenny's got a nod rocket there. You know, and it's just one of those unfortunate set of circumstances. And sometimes when things go bad, they just keep making wrong turns. So hopefully Kenny will still be positive about this thing. We'll get him drug up here in the booth, and maybe he can help Big out a little bit. I'm gonna give my breath. It's not my breath, ladies and gentlemen. It's my voice. Give my voice a little bit of a break. Cars are doubled up, lights off on pace car. Pace car is going to be getting down in a way, and we're ready to go green once again. Randy Mullins sitting on that one seat in that catbird seat. Going to see, hoping to get himself a great launch. He's got Rodrigo Logo on the outside. We are implementing the choose cone, so Randy Mullins was actually on the outside. Mark Sanchez not getting a good start at all as the top three get themselves a launch to be the four, Brian Johnson, as well as Randy Johnson and Rodrigo Logo. Brian Johnson way high right now as he's coming around Rodrigo Logo, trying to get a move. Looks like he is going to secure that spot. Not over just quite yet, but he is going to be dodging down, securing his second spot. Randy Mullins trying to get his lead back out to where it was. Cars in the back of these guys still trying to sort it out. Sanchez still trying to recover from his less than stellar start. The cool two-car of Kendall LeBron makes his way around the 29 of Sanchez. Still going to be running a little bit high on the high side. Sanchez is going to duck down, get in. That pass to be considered complete. No one really pushing. Everybody seeming to be pretty patient right here. As we are coming down, there's going to be 5 laps to go here in the stage next time by. Look at Randy go, though. Randy definitely has had a fast car. Now, he was one of the fast cars that we saw in practice along with J.C. Evans. Sanchez kind of shocked us a little bit with such a powerful qualifying run. But hasn't yet been able to display the speed I think that he would need in order to maintain that position. So we're just going to continue to watch. One thing for sure, though, definitely going to be a battle going on here up front. Still going to be looking to see what that 99 car Chris Severa is going to be able to do, as he's just now given a little bit of a bump there. Mark Sanchez kind of nudge him along. Sanchez still has to close the gap to Kendall LeBron. Kendall LeBron doing everything he can to maintain his spot in the top 5. Once again, the 99 of Severa coming up onto the 29 of Mark Sanchez is going to be nudging him around, tucking right in there, trying to give him the bump and the boost so they can catch that lead pack. Lead pack starting to drift away. Not sure what's going on with Sanchez. Maybe he is kind of throttling that thing a little bit, back a little bit, allowing the 99 to catch up, but the 99 is going to roll on by. Sanchez now loses another position. He's still trying to hold on to that, because next thing you know, he is going to have which is we're joined in the booth by none other than Kenny Powell. Kenny Powell. Kenny Powell. What happened?
I was plagued with all kinds of issues. I made the fatal mistake of racing my Q set, and it just got hard to handle, so I pitted, and pitted at the right time, evidently, because I got tires. I made some setup changes, got ready to come back out, got the wave around, and then made the second fatal mistake of downshifting, I guess, as I'm passing the pace car, and it blew the engine. So I'm up here now.
Well, I tell you what, welcome aboard definitely gives my voice a break, and unfortunately, you can turn your bad luck into good fortune, because this gives you an opportunity to actually come up here and take a look from the bird's eye perspective at some of the new guys. We got a couple new guys that we're talking about here. What have been your thoughts as this recruitment season has been going on?
I can't say that I'm not a little disappointed we don't have more of a following, coming off the great season we just had. But we're here to try to spread the word of ISCA, and we'll hopefully it'll gain some momentum as we go into next season. And I expect next season to be a huge success again. We just got to get the word out about the off season here in the hosted sessions.
Absolutely, man. But these guys right now definitely showed up to race. You can tell that. Randy Mullins putting down a killer showing here. I mean, he has definitely been out front for the majority of the session. New driver come onto the scene, Rodrigo Logo. We've definitely been watching him as he has been out front. He's actually even shared the lead there as well. So we've had Randy Mullins, Brian Johnson, and Rodrigo Logo that have actually been the cars that have been in the lead. Chris Severa right now, I do believe, is our biggest mover, as he has started towards the rear of the pack. I believe back in 12th, and he has made his way all the way up to 5th place.
Yeah, he's on the low side right now working on, I believe that 2 is Kendall LeBron. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And yeah, Chris is making his way forward slowly but steady.
Yeah, and good shout out to Kendall O'Ron. These guys, he's actually had a strong car and they've actually had a strong showing. The biggest problem what we've seen with the two cars, these guys just aren't closers, and that's one thing that we hope they can get better at. Him and JC Evans, if those guys can finish as strong as they start the race, I think they're going to be definitely guys that are going to be big contenders. Another thing we're displaying here tonight is the choose rule. Kenny, you want to talk to us a little bit about the choose rule and what led to you actually making the decision to implement it here this year?
Sure. The ISCA strives to be the most like the real life NASCAR racing series, and as a result, I entertained, trying to put in the choose rule. We did it at the All-Star race last season. It seemed to work out all right, but I didn't want to make a mid-season change, so didn't put it in. But I'm going to try it throughout the off season here, and I expect it to go into next season.
It definitely seems to be working here tonight. Can't wait to get some feedback from the drivers and see what they actually thought about it. But as far as what we thought up in the booth, hey, we'll give it 2 thumbs up if we get to choose.
All right.
Great. This will be white flag. This is going to come to the end of stage 1. Been a colorful stage 1. Actually had a couple opportunities for a caution. I actually didn't get the caution 14. Randy Mullins going to definitely do it. This is the white flag one more time around. See if he can keep his position and maybe get himself on top of the stage. But he's got Brian Johnson. I don't think Brian Johnson is just really ready to give it up just yet, as he is going to be battling with our leader, and these guys are probably going to let it hang to the line. Right now, the 54 has the dominant position. 4-car going to try to make a move. Don't think he's going to have enough to get it done. Still got to wait until the 10th place car to cross the line. Caution is out. And that means that Randy Mullins is going to be your stage 1 winner. Brian Johnson, P2. Rodrigo Longo comes in 3rd place. J.C. Evans 4th. Kendall LeBron 5th. 6th place is going to show Chris Rivera. 7th, Greg Wachinski. Mark Sanchez rolls in 8th. 9th place, Jose Medina. And 10th place is Ryan Dillon. We'll take just a brief step away. Just a quick one. Get another word from our sponsor. And we'll be back with your stage 1 winner, Randy Mullins. And we are back at the ISCA Recruitment Race 200. I'm your host, Big Al, joined in the booth by Kenny Powell, and also will be joined in the booth by none other than our Stage 1 winner, Randy Mullins. Randy Mullins, Big Al, put the booth. You got me.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Man, it's got to feel pretty good bringing this thing around and actually getting your first stage winner tonight.
Yes, sir. Car's handling real good. I didn't get to practice none. I just took the setup from last year and threw it in here, and it seems to be working.
Well, geez, you can't really say. I mean, you can't be mad at that, right?
Oh no, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all, man. It's pretty fun. I wish we had a few more cars, but it's pretty good for the winter series. And yeah, I'm definitely happy to get that stage. Hopefully, we'll get the next one and a win.
Yeah, what are some of the things that your team is looking to accomplish here in this winter season?
Main thing is just stay active, because at the end of the day, if you're not practicing, your competition is. And if you take a long period of time off, you might come back at Daytona and be behind the eight ball there. So our goal is just to stay active, put in some laps, not as many as we did in the regular season, but definitely put in some, just so we can keep up with the car, keep up with the updates, and help each other out.
Well, that Paradigm team was actually really strong last year, and we hope that you guys will actually be able to step up to the plate and have a strong year this year as well. But tonight's all about your individual accomplishments, and we appreciate you taking time to come out here tonight. Man, with the stage one in the books, we're going to go ahead and say, who you going to shout out for your stage one victory?
I want to shout out my guys at Paradigm, Brian, Josh, Brandon, Chris. You up in the booth for taking your time to call this, since it's a winter race, not a regular season. So I want to thank you and Colby for what y'all doing, and Kenny for putting on the league.
Roger that, sir. We're going to let you get back to it. Congratulations again on stage one win. Hopefully you can keep that streak continuing.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
That was your stage one winner, Mr. Randy Mullins. So, Kenny, stage one in the books. Your night's done. You're up here with Big Al. Not where you wanted to be, but I'm going to go ahead and let you call this off for us here once we get going. But right now, lights are still on the pace car. Going off now, doubling this thing up. I mean, I'm excited. Every time the last race of the season starts, I get more excited about the first race actually getting ready to begin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like what Randy said. It's the off seasons. There are a lot of pressures off of it. I'm sorry, I'm hearing radio chatter. Yeah, the pressure's kind of off, but you need to stay active, and so that's also what I'm trying to do. And just sitting back, and even though I'm out of this race, it kind of sucks, but it's going to be fun to watch it as well.
Well, I definitely got to say I don't have a lot of winner weight, but I got a lot of loser weight, if you know what I mean. So we got to see what happens here, man. Restarts.
We got Jose up on the outside. I mean, this is a good move, or a big move for Jose. It looks like he took 2 tires to get that track position. We'll see what he does with it when we go green here.
Yeah, not a bad time to take 2. They had a really short run there towards the end of that thing. If you weren't really putting the hammer down, probably could have saved a little bit of tire. Pace car's going to get up out of the way, and Kenny's going to take his green.
And this is a little bit shorter of a stage. So here they go.
Bobbled start, both top and bottom. That's going to make Brian Johnson get antsy and come to the middle. 3 wide we are right now, especially going through the first 5 positions.
Man, they didn't take any time going around Jose. Jose got fed to the dogs.
Now Jose's got a blanket condition. This isn't going to end well as he is inside the 29 of Sanchez. Now he's going to be in the middle, kind of falling back a lot of bit. He has lost every bit of momentum that he had. Starting one of the 2-tire call was actually indeed the right call. But nonetheless, I'm going to tell you who's doing well. That's Brian Johnson. He is definitely up front leading this thing. Didn't waste any time getting the lead. And he was actually back in 3rd place, Kenny. So when he saw that the front 2 bobbled, he wasted no time actually shooting that gap. Good call. So far, that's the call of the race as well.
I think Brian's exactly where he wants to be. Up front, controlling the race, and if we remember what happened last week, once he got the lead, it was hard to take it from him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing. These guys covet the lead, and they should. We've heard time and time again throughout the season that clean air was the best air. That was the one thing that every leader said. They were consistent about. They talked about clean air. With this track is no exception. This track was a track that really prides itself, lends itself to the good side here for clean air. And Brian Johnson's enjoying all of that right now.
Hey, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of JC and Kendall. They're both up front, having good runs. Seems to be consistent so far. Let's see how long they can last up there.
Yeah, because as the track temp starts to cool down a little bit, these cars definitely going to get a little bit more sporty. That's one thing that we've seen Don't know exactly how racy they are tonight. You were actually out there. The car's handling tight or the handling loose? Did you feel that you were on top of your setup or you chasing the car?
Well, due to my setup issue, I wasn't in the right position to judge it. But in my practice before the race, the setup felt great, felt pretty solid. It wasn't too loose, too tight. It was very comfortable. I've raced some other races this week, and I like the car a lot. I like the track. So I don't imagine there are too many handling issues out there right now. Now, if you push the car too hard, you will definitely probably get loose. And that's probably what we'll see here towards the end of the stage.
Well, right now, everybody doing the best they can to hold on. Brian Johnson, your leader, he is wasting no time. I mean, he is showing leadership qualities. We'll say that. Definitely took the lead like a true leader, and he is holding the lead like a boss. So we got to love that. But Randy Mullen's still going to be back there. Ooh, the 9-car J.C. Evans slides out of line just a little bit. Finally kind of got the car back around, and then just like that, he's got the 2-car. Kendall LeBron's going to be right in behind him. For whatever reason, Randy Mullins, though, seems to have lost it, and he is starting to slip back the opposite direction. Already lost 3 spots there just in that short period of time, Kenny.
Yeah, the draft definitely plays a hand here at Chicago, and Randy was just the odd man out on the bottom there. So I think that had a lot to do with how many spots he just lost.
Yeah, we seen that happen earlier tonight, too. The 44 of Randy Drumheller. Randy was up front doing a lot of the same things that Randy Mullins were doing. The battle.
3 wide for the lead.
Oh, going to be 4 wide.
Are they going to make it 4? Oh,
Chris
my
goodness. Coming through the
what
middle.
What is happening?
Pushing it 4 wide, which we talked about. Plenty of room to make it work. Still 3 wide for the lead. Severi going to come right on the inside. Look at Kendall go. Sorry, J.C. Evans. J.C. Evans is going to be out front for the first time tonight. He will be our 4th leader. Chris Severi trying to get to the inside. He's going to give it all he's got, trying to make sure that he can get a nose on that 2-car. Not going to be able to do it. Kendall LeBron holds off the 99 of Severi for the time being. But wow, what a shot that we saw right there, Kenny. 4 wide for the lead. Stage 2, early in Stage 2, wow, you would have thought we were going to the end of this thing.
Yeah, really. Man, they're making it exciting down there.
Yeah, I am excited. I'm excited to see Kendall LeBron actually get his shot up front so he can actually, let the light shine on Kendall, man. So many times he's had a strong car, but these guys just have the worst luck when it comes to closing. I mean, he's right there, and then he just drops the eggs on the doorstep.
Yeah, I'll add to that. Air top 2 right now, their biggest enemies are themselves. They seem to cut themselves or shoot themselves in the foot. If they don't do that, then they have great runs. So, man, it's awesome to see it right now.
Yeah, and I guarantee you Chris Severi's feeling pretty good because he came out towards the end of the season and he ran. And, I don't think he did as well as he would have hoped to. And that's been one battle that we've been waiting to see. So now he actually gets to come out here in the winter season and maybe get a little bit of redemption. Maybe see if he can call some of the bigger dogs off the porch and get out here and mix it up with us a little bit. But right now, the big dog that's leading this thing is the 2-car Kendall LeBron. He is out front. Kendall was one of the fastest drivers at practice along with J.C. Evans in the 9-car. But to actually be out here and put it to practical application, we are loving it. And right behind these 2 guys, you got a couple more guys that are waiting to get up in here and mix it up. One of those drivers is none other than the 5-car Greg Wachinski. Who would have thought you'd see Greg up here in the top 5 in 3rd place now, trying to get his hat thrown in the ring.
Loving what I'm seeing. We got Brian Johnson falling back a little bit. I think he's worn his rear tires out a little bit. He's doing a little slippy sliding there.
Yeah, not sure what's going on there with the 2 of LeBron there in the 99 of Severi, but I don't know if maybe words weren't shared, but air was exchanged. I'll just say that. Sometimes that can be pretty harsh too.
Stage is wrapping up, coming to a close here in 5 laps. So
Yeah, 5 laps to this stage is over. And we saw Kendall LeBron actually give Chris Rivera a little bump. Now, I mean, we've seen Chris Rivera bumping the 29 of Sanchez earlier, but to see now LeBron come and kind of give him that nudge is great. Greg Wojcinski back in third place. Greg's on the high side. I just saw Brian Johnson give him a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, I kind of almost don't want to talk about Greg Wojcinski, but man, he's the one I got my eye on. He's the only car in this top 5, top 10 that I haven't seen slip. He's been solid and steady. Everybody else is slipping, sliding a little bit. And Greg's on a constant path to the front.
What do you
He's got 3 more laps to get there.
What do you attribute the slipping and sliding to here this evening?
I mean, it's just throttle control, how much you're using your tires. Have you been running on the top side of the track, the bottom side of the track, how much dirty air you've been in, all that plays in. But Greg's been, I've been watching him. He's been racing his own race. He's generally had air on his nose, so he's probably not pushing too much. He's probably giving it what he's got right now, though.
Definitely got to be feeling pretty good about his odds as well as his chances right now. Greg started further in the back right now. Brian Johnson getting down on the inside. He is going to make it work, giving Kimmel Ron a run for his money. Greg Wojcinski drops back to the 4th place position. The leader, Chris Severe, coming around the turn. Chris trying to make it stick. Could he possibly get his first stage win here tonight as well? Excited to see how this one shakes out. As Kenny said, we are currently waiting 2 laps to go in the stage. Stage 2 looked completely different than stage 1. Still as exciting, but maybe not as many opportunities for a caution. So that's really good too. We didn't do the over-under before the race started, but I definitely think this is going to be probably one of the cleaner races that's actually occurred here this week. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely. We've got a smaller field, so that less cautions come with that, and the quality of the drivers we have. I don't expect too many, maybe one more. All right, this is the white flag lap coming to the end of the stage.
Chris Rivera definitely out to a mounting lead. Big surge from Wojcinski as he is trying to get to the inside. Also watching Brian Johnson. He's trying to maintain his position. Kendall Ron, the 2 car, this is a race for the 2nd position. White flag out in the air. Race for the flag. There's the caution. Sorry. That's going to end stage 2. Christopher stage 2 winner will get a little run. P2, Brian Johnson in 3rd. 4th place, just Randy Mullins. 5th, Greg Wojcinski. 6th place, going to be Mark Sanchez. 7th place, Ryan Dillon. 8th place, Rodrigo. 9th, Randy Driller and James E. Evans. Rounds out your top 10. We'll take another 3 step away. My sponsors will be back to stage 2 winner, Chris Rivera.
keep on their right rears and stay out of dirty air. You'll probably see guys try and commit to the high line. I don't think the high line is going to be the way to go. I think you need to wrap the bottom, wrap the white line as long as you can around here, and just keep the tires on it.
Roger that, Mr. Keep the Tires on it. Who you going to shout out for your stage 2 victory as we get you back in the car before this thing starts?
Hey, it was just kind of a late notice race. Shout out to Kenny for the league and putting it on. It's great every week, and fortunate enough to be here, not having to work on Friday, so I'm able to make it when I can, and thankful that he let me in. So appreciate it, man.
Roger that. Good luck to you, boss, and hopefully we'll see you on the podium at the end of this thing.
Thanks, guys.
That was Chris Severa, your stage 2 winner. Lights off on the pace car. Pace car's going to be off in a way. We're going to be getting back to green flag racing. Chris Severa is going to be in that catbird seat, waiting to press that pedal to make it loud. He's going to have Kim LeBron once again on his inside. Pace cars away. Here we go. Geico Restart Stone. Chris Severa wasting no time getting it going. Substantial jump. Just Kendall LeBron caught sleeping. Greg Wachinski caught sleeping. Mark Sanchez caught sleeping. This is huge because right now, restarts are key, Kenny. A strong restart is going to dictate how well you run the stage. What are your thoughts on that restart?
They got to pull the reins back a little bit. This is the longest run in the race. We got 100 laps to go here, so I'm not surprised Chris got the jump on the restart, but I would be surprised if he tries to run away with it, knowing that he has to protect his tires. So I do expect the guys behind him to catch him here shortly.
Yeah, one thing he really did harp on, and that is the effect of that dirty air. And we've been seeing the effect that the dirty air has been having on the cars. So some of these cars look like they're in a wind tunnel. I mean, that's just the honest to God truth, where some of them, are kind of keeping it straight. Greg Wachinski dropping up to the high side, looking like he's going to try to go back to the back. We know the guys that we usually have up front that are setting the pace, that are keeping their tires in mind. Not sure how Brian and Chris Severa are going to lead this thing tonight, okay? That's going to be one thing we're going to be looking for. I know Chris Severa, he is the savior and the saving king. So if anybody out there can clutch it or limp it or off it, it's going to be Severa.
Yeah, that's true statement on that one. I think it'll be a lot dependent on how much Brian and Chris really race each other. Is Brian going to be content to sit there and run behind Chris, or are they going to mix it up? If they mix it up too much, then I still have my eye on Greg. He might be the sleeper back there.
Yeah, definitely. I think Wachinski's probably got one of the better plans, and that's just kind of lay and wait, because there's really nothing you can do at this point. You really just kind of got to take it easy and try to save as much tire as you can, and even fuel for that matter, because, in my opinion, the more fuel you burn, the longer your pit stop's going to be. And these guys, when they're coming down, I imagine everybody's going to try to run this one directly into the middle, or try to split it in two, and they're going to want to try to get on and off as fast as possible.
Yeah, I'll touch base on this a little bit. I want to talk about it. Through the end of the year of the ISCA, and we're running the new rules package, the rules package that we're going to run in 2025. And one of those differences is a longer third stage. Before, they didn't have that big of a window to pit in. Basically, when you ran out of gas, or you were going to run out of gas within 5 laps of when you needed to pit anyway. Now the stage is longer. The gas tank's the same. So now, instead of being pinned into like a 5-lap window of when you could really pit, now most of the races are going to be a 20-lap window where you can pit. So pit strategy can vary a lot, and they've got a lot more to play with. So I'm interested to see how that works out here in the off season, and going into next year too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from North Carolina like you are, so either you're gonna have to say it real slow, you're gonna have to say it twice. Could you say that again?
So one of the changes, a couple rules changes from the end of last season to the season in 2025, and currently these hosted sessions we're running the new rules package, and one of those changes is the last stage is longer now, and as a result of the stage being longer, now splitting the stage in the middle. I mean, you can still split the stage in the middle, but now you have a wider opportunity. That the pit window has now changed from basically a 5-lap window to a 20-lap window. So I think that's going to increase a lot of pit strategy.
Yeah, definitely. It gives the drivers a broader range to play with that way, so not everybody is tied to the same strategy. And one of the things that I always comment about in the ISCA is the fact that drivers get to execute their strategies. So many times when you're running, whether it be a league race or an open, there's so many cautions that everybody just gets gas and tires. But here, you truly are in a position where you're gonna have to make some tough choices.
And tire maintenance is definitely going to matter a lot more going forward. So that's definitely something they have to keep forefront in their minds as they're racing.
Yeah, speaking of racing, Brian Johnson now has exerted his dominance over the 99 of Chris Rivera. Additionally, the 2-car Kimmel LeBron, he is starting to slide back as well. Maybe it doesn't look like it right there, but I guarantee you next time it's come around, he's probably going to have lost a couple more spots now. Is this Chris just kind of starting to realize that, hey, I really kind of got to stick to my game plan? We got a couple of drivers that are really good at that, where they'll just kind of drag the field along. And then, we got some guys that just burn their stuff out. So Severa, definitely one of the guys that I think is super cautious about and very well aware of how many laps he has to go.
Yeah, I think two things were at play there. Severa was conscious of not pushing it too hard, and then you had Brian sitting right behind him wanting that clean, fresh air. So I think they just traded places there. It's interesting to me that we've got such a separation that we have. I don't know if we missed a checkup, 2 cars getting together or what, but we definitely have a large breakaway from the top 6 cars to the 7th one back.
Yeah, I just think this plays into strategy a little bit more. I do believe those guys in the back are just cognizant of just how long this run is, and they are doing everything they can to kind of stay together, form their own pack, get their own draft, and just keep the lead guys in sight, because we still got a pretty good shot that we could have one more caution coming out, just because the length of this stage right here is kind of greater. So that's one thing we'll be watching these guys. Towards the end of stage 2, you kind of see it because it was the longest stage that they had run so far, but I think you're definitely going to start to see it here in stage 3 as this race goes on. Brian Johnson, your winner. I mean, your leader right now. Look at me.
Your leader.
Fast forward this thing. He's your leader.
Didn't you say we have to run all those laps before we can count it?
We have to run all the laps before we count it. That's a very true story. So we also have a sponsored event that's going to be coming up here in December. If we could actually get that put up. This is going to be a special event sanctioned by the ISCA. We're going to be doing a Bathurst challenge, and that's going to be between Australian drivers as well as the American drivers. Kenny, you want to talk about that?
Sure. Our producer, Australian, came to me and wanted to see if we could put together an event. I thought it was a great idea. So we're going to put together an event here on December 6th for Americans, December 7th for Australians, and trying to pack a group together and race at Bathurst. It is a money race. It's a $7.50 entry, and we've got prizes for the top 3. I think they are. I'm not reading the graphic. I think it's 50, 30, 20. Looking for a good showing. Everybody come out. If you're interested in running Bathurst, go to iscaracing.com, and all the information's there. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's going to give Brian and myself an opportunity to actually call a true road course race. In Bathurst, I got to admit, it's actually one of my most favorite tracks. Is Mount Panorama, and I mean, I love that track. I've always loved it. I love the changes in elevation. I love the downhill turns. It's just, what can I say?
Yeah, it is a fun track to drive. It's fun. It's different.
Yes. Well, Brian Johnson still running away with this thing. Chris Avery slipped back once again in third place. Randy Mullins has pulled up to second place. Now, Randy, he has a better view of the leader. These two are teammates, so no doubt they definitely kind of got a better understanding of how each run. And I'm going to say this, Kenny, both Brian Johnson and Randy Mullins showed tremendous improvement between the 2023 season and the 2024 season.
I think I see. I mean, I'll just differ with that a little bit. I think Brian was already there. I think Randy made huge strides, or not huge strides, but good strides, and had a much better season for himself. So yeah, it's not surprising to see both of them up front. I like what I'm seeing from Chris Severa, though. I think it's not by chance that he's as far back as he is from Randy. I think he's dropped back just enough to keep some air on his nose, be able to pick the cleaner line that he wants to run as we tick off laps here in the middle of the stage.
Yeah, we're halfway through this thing. I mean, this time by just one lap over, and you are absolutely correct. He is doing exactly what he needs to do in order to stay competitive. Because Skinny, I always say this: it's about being available at the end of this thing. You can go out there and you can shine as bright as you want to, but if you're not available at the last lap, if we can't even call your name on that lap, then you're really not going to win.
That's right. You got to be there to win it, and if you ain't there, there's no chance. Looking back at the through the field era, we no longer have two distinct packs. That second pack is filtered up to the front one a little bit.
Yeah, definitely close the door, close the gap, showing two cars further back. That's going to be the 10 car and the 27. I believe that 27 car is Derek Jacobs and Jose Medina is driving it's a 48 car, but it's shown 10.
I like what I'm seeing from Mark Sanchez too. He's currently he was one of those that drifted back and was in that second pack, and he's making his way forward. Currently, the fastest on the track, or actually, Greg Wachinski was fastest that time. So, Greg and Mark are making their way to the front, slowly but surely.
Man, that's awesome because it's just great that we get to see so many different drivers having a strong hand here this evening. I mean, our whole top 10 is kind of different a little bit.
Yeah.
Chris Avery now back on the move. He's going to be coming to the inside of the 54. Randy Mullins, this battle is for the lead. You think this is a little soon, or are you kind of expecting this?
I do think it's a little soon. They got quite a ways to still run, but I don't know.
Yeah, indeed, quite a ways to still go. Brian Johnson slowly trickling back. Not sure we got a good idea what actually is happening to Brian Johnson. It seems that he might have went out and was a little overzealous and could have possibly spent himself a set of good years. And this is one of those things where once you start to heat those tires up, you got to know in time enough to start cooling them down. You cannot wait till it's too late.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for Randy right now. He's I think he's pushing it a little too hard. I'm remembering back to the end of the second stage. He had a car, but then he was getting really slippery with it. So I'm cautious about him getting out and wearing those tires out.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. Now, this is a pretty tricky pit road entrance, and it looks like these guys are where they're going. Is we could potentially actually get to have some green flag pit stops here tonight. I'm excited about that. Always excited when we get those because truly that's when the drivers get to go out and work the strategy that they have come up with. And, some of those strategies change, especially throughout the race. But about this time right now, barring, some late race caution, I think they're really starting to try to figure out how this thing is going to shape up for them at the end. What were your plans towards this last stage had you still been running?
I think Chris Vera said it best. You got to conserve those tires. You got to make. My preferred method. People see it different, but is to split the strategy in half most of the time. So that's probably what I'd be looking at doing here at this race, and just trying to make those tires work to my benefit as equally as I could through both of those stints. I think you are going to see most people pit in the middle there, and I don't know what I was thinking earlier when I was talking. We do have longer. We do have longer stage 3 runs, but that pit window didn't grow. The pit window is still going to be pretty short. So if we do go green, and I hope we do, we will see those guys pit all pretty much around the same time because the window did not widen like I was thinking it did.
So you give us 20 and then you take 15 away?
I did. I took it away. I yanked it out. I gave you more green flag laps, though, hopefully.
I don't even know what color Santa that is. I don't even want to touch it.
It's green. Green flag racing.
Green flag racing. Away we go and we continue. Randy
Mullis
and Chris side by side for the lead.
Side by side for the lead.
But these two guys have been
up top.
They've been battling. I mean, they've been duking it out. And you see Brian Johnson also has made his way back up to the fray, coming back in. Kevin LeBron starts to fall back just a little bit. But we'll be watching him and J.C. Evans because those two guys actually have a history in the past. They're always kind of getting caught up together. Mr. Berry going to be showing his way up front here. That's for the most part standing pretty well. 2 distinct breakaways and 2 cars back. So far, it's been everything that we expected. Long green runs. This race is run pretty much caution free. One caution minus the stage breaks. Now we did also have 2 stage 1 quite worked out for us.
Yeah, it was breaking up for me too.
Yeah, we still got green flag racing here. Christopher doing what he has to do. Keeping this thing running green.
I think we got probably about maybe 10 more laps before they start thinking about trickling down pit road. I don't see a whole lot of side-by-side racing. I think they figured it out up front there. Chris Severa took the lead. And I think we're going to, hopefully, if I'm not jinxing it, get those green flag pit stops in about 10 laps.
I'm thinking it's going to be more than like 15.
Could be.
Yeah, in a lot of these guys in the back might be barely hanging on. And I do believe sometimes that drives that. If guys run their tires out early, they feel more desperate to get those tires at the end. But they got to keep in mind that if they don't learn from that mistake, they're going to find themselves in the same problem at the end of this stage. So, tire Conservation Tire Management. I hope these guys have got great notes so they can actually look back on and say, okay, we were fast here, but we were slow here, but it can't continue to look like it is right now. Derek Jacobs off the pace. Not sure if he was coming off a pit road or just real slow. Roger, Derek Jacobs down for the first of the green flag pit stops, coming out just in front of the leaders. He's going to be doing everything he can now to maintain pace, get back up. Derek's also showing a lot of promise, Kenny. We've been watching this kid for, I don't want to call him a kid, but been watching this man for several years. And, you know, he's one of those guys that he just hangs in there.
Yeah, and Derek's, a good friend of mine. He definitely has the racer's heart. He's got the mindset to do it. I think, honestly, he just needs more of the track time, dedicated track time. And I hope he sticks around, and love to see him progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely would love to see him actually get up here and be running with J.C. Evans and Kendall LeBron. I'm glad to see these two guys duking it out, that's for sure.
Yeah, we definitely have a distinct couple groups here. It looks like the top three has broken away to settle that contest between themselves going into the pit stops, and then behind them we've got that combo of Kendall and JC racing each other, and then of course you got your Greg and Mark back there. Making their way up to JC and Kendall. We'll see if they get there.
Really starting to wonder what's going on with my Monster 5 Wojcinski, because Greg was actually running fire at the end of stage 2. I mean, he had a third place finish, I believe, at the end of stage 2. Started this stage kind of like wobbly and fell back. Originally, we thought that was by design, but it's go time, Greg. I mean, I do believe he should be trying to close that gap.
Yeah. I think Greg and Mark, they definitely saved in the beginning of this run, laid back, and then in the middle of the run, they were coming forward. But when you're moving forward and you're the fastest on the track, it feels good. And I think they just pushed it a little bit too hard during that time, and I think it came to bite them. So we'll see if. Maybe we get this green flag pit stop. They get 4 freshies, and maybe they can come out and not make that same mistake.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing that we're going to be looking at. Once drivers start to get themselves set up, how do they come down on pit road? Who's going to make those mistakes? Who's going to get that ball right? Because it could be potentially a game changer here. We've seen this happen time and time again, especially with drivers like, I hate to say it, but my main man, Clayton Hoffman. Clayton's one of those guys that will beat himself on pit road. Will Severa fall victim to Severa? That's a good question. Christian's
That's a big question. I hope Chris is thinking about that. And I hope he goes into pit road with the mindset of don't make a mistake. I'd rather lose a second getting on pit road safe than wrecking it and losing 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. With 60 laps to go here, be 59 at the line, we are definitely starting to become more and more into that pit window. I mean, drivers within 10 laps, I do believe you're going to start to see a lot more activity down and around pit road. Some of the drivers are going to probably come a little bit earlier than others, because I believe these are the drivers that may have driven it just a little bit too hard on the way out. Now, the key thing is these guys that are back here off the lead, they got to figure something out real quick, because they got to close that gap. You're not going to be able to win this race with a gap that big.
Yeah, I think it may have slipped out of the hands of the likes of Kendall and Randy and JC and Mark. I don't know if they can climb that hill at this point.
Yeah, Derek Jacobs definitely running some fast laps on those new tires. But this is
Yeah,
one
speaking of
things-
that, I was looking at that as well. There, since he pitted, has been basically a second faster than everybody else on the track. So that's huge. That's how much fall off we have here.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, Derek might find himself back in the same position if he doesn't manage his tires. And being in the situation that he's in, he really doesn't have anybody to pace himself. You know, these tracks, you got to have somebody that at least kind of keep your eye on, or to just kind of help, as a leader. Ooh, contact with the wall. I do believe we're riding on board with Kendall LeBron. Kendall's tires are gone. You see how much that car is washing so high up onto the racetrack. Not able at all to kind of keep that thing. And, he was running well up front, Kenny, and now it seems that he is just high side, washed to the high side.
Yeah, we were noticing that earlier, that Kendall was running that high side and really liked to be up on that high side. But I think he's learning that high side it's fast, but it doesn't have the longevity. So you kind of got to use that high side sparingly. And I think he just stayed up there a little too long.
Yeah, I mean, it comes at a cost. The 9 car of J.C. Evans down on pit road. So now I'll definitely officially say our green flag pit stops have begun. 54 laps to go. Seems like he is splitting it about 3 laps to the short side. The 94 car, that's going to be Ryan Dillon from the west. He now makes his way down pit road. We're going to be watching this because a lot of drivers at this point, I do believe, are going to be watching the leader. Now, if you got 2 choices, you can either stay out and pit when he pits. Let me know if I'm wrong on this, Kenny, because I'm not the racer. I'm just a talker. But I believe you have 2 choices. You can either stay out and pit when he pits and lose that, or you can come in short pit to the leader and try to make that time up on fresh tires.
Yeah, if you're short pitting, you can come out, and just as we were talking before, Derek Jacobs was running that second faster. So if you pit 5 laps before somebody else, you're likely to come out, once the second car comes out, to be a 5-second difference between you. So if you were running side by side, or just tight together, you could potentially come out with the 5-second lead, but you're going to give that up just a little bit throughout the whole run. So is that worth it? And that's that's a choice I struggle with. I don't know when the right time to choose the overshoot or undershoot call is. It's something in racing I've never understood. I'm too mathematical, so I split it in the middle.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And it looks like if a lot of our drivers are going to do that, this is about the time. Well, actually, we'll pass that.
Yeah, I'm shocked that we haven't had more people pit than we have. Speaking of the fuel window was only about 60 to 65, maybe around 65 laps. So we went green on lap 65-ish. We got somebody else on pit road.
That's Greg Watinsky. Now the 4-car Brian Johnson will be making his way
now they're
down.
trickling in.
14 car. That's Derek Jacobs making his way down. Wait, what? Here comes Frank Sanchez.
Frank Sanchez?
Sanchez.
I didn't know Frank Sanchez was in the race.
Hey, look, I'm going to make up a couple drivers. He's up there with Clayton Powell. Leaders pit road down now. This is going to definitely probably drive the remaining cars out there as we see the 44, the 2, the 10 should all be coming in. The 10 car actually lets you stay out. He is going to become your new leader. That is Jose Medina. But Mark Sanchez, he's one of your G&G drivers. Also, Mark had a pretty strong year this year. Got his first ISCA victory. And look, he started the pole tonight.
Yeah, Mark's been very strong. I think he definitely has a mindset. He wants to show everybody what he's got. And yeah, I've been very impressed with how he did last season and the season before that. That's why he's on the G&G team. And I think he's only getting better each week.
Well, you know, one thing, I will not have the advantage of having you up here in the booth every night for the winter season, but, you know, unless you just suck. But
could happen.
All right. So let me ask you this question: what can we look forward to? What can the fans look forward to? What are some of the biggest changes they're going to see with this season coming up next year?
Like I alluded to, the some rule changes. We're going to do the choose rule, which we're doing here in this race. The stages changing a little bit. The first stage is pretty much going to be about the same, but the second stage is going to be a little bit shorter, and which is going to give that third stage a longer run. I do hope to have a lot of returning drivers. You know, we had our greatest season yet last season, so I do expect most of our drivers to return. Looking to expand our field, and man, I really can't wait for next year already. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited too. And just to note, Jose Medina, who was our leader, consequently, you know, he kind of won a black flag. And that is definitely going to hold him down on pit road, so his fortunes have changed as well.
And that ends a bad day right there.
Yeah, it really does.
Some other exciting things that are going to happen next year too. I'm going to work with Kobe here on the off season. We're going to put together some new overlay packages, and so hopefully we can get some updated overlays and make it a lot more exciting for the viewers.
Now, what are you looking at in terms of sponsorship? Because I know there are sponsorship opportunities out there, so maybe this might be a good time to kind of like, what would a sponsorship package look like for someone that may be a company that's interested in sponsoring maybe a race?
Yeah, I'm definitely open to anybody that is wanting to do a sponsorship with the ISCA. The packages, I don't like to really do the packages. I'd rather speak to each individually and see what kind of package we can put together. What terms make sense to both of us. Definitely do have a lot of races that could be open to any body or company to sponsor. We've got the main sponsors, Fall In and Butt Kicker, and several sponsors throughout the season. But always looking for new sponsorship. If you're wanting to get your name out, I'm definitely open and willing to talk and see if we can get you in to sponsor one of our races.
That's awesome. So we actually did end the season this past season with Grid Vision. Are there any plans of going forward with that?
Possibly. I don't know. That's way too early in the thought process to think about that. I don't know.
Roger, good copy. Looks like Jose Medina now is running for his life. If he has got the Chris Severa and Brian Johnson right there with him, his whole view has definitely changed. Now, he went from actually having a pretty good opportunity of being in the top three of this thing to now he is literally fighting for his life.
I'm noticing that now we have a top two instead of a top three. It looks like Randy is 7 seconds back. Did we have any idea what happened on Randy's pit stop?
Randy's pit stop was 14.1.
I see he has a 3.2. So did he get a speeding penalty
He must
and have to go back down?
Yeah, usually it might have occurred on the exit because usually on the entrance, I think they hold you in the box longer, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was, it was detrimental to his chances of winning this thing, and just like that, man, we're down to only 10 cars on the lead lap.
There, there's a certain saying that comes to mind. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think you say it all the time, Big Al.
You drive for show and you pit for dough.
Right on.
Even in the big, I mean, even the real racing, there's championships are won and lost on pit road.
For sure.
You know, we were just talking about that in a race that we were seeing, and it's just, you know, that's the one time where everybody has to be together. Seeing the 27 of Derek Jacobs back on pit road. Not sure about that call.
And this might be I've had a good day, I'm going to go home call. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. 2 cars up front for this thing, still Chris Rivera and Brian Johnson. These 2 guys.
Looks like our biggest race is back there with Randy Drumhiller and Mark Sanchez and J.C. Evans.
Yeah, these guys are actually doing a little formation flying back here.
I think we see Mark Sanchez on the bottom side there trying to take that position that Randy's got.
Yeah, huge gap though now from Brian Johnson to Randy Mullins. Mullins finds himself, he's 7 seconds back, 7.6 seconds behind the leader. Actually, he's 8 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, he's 8 seconds behind the leader, and he is the fastest on the track. But you know, I know you got to go if you're that far back. But if you push it that hard, you'll never get them because you won't have the tires by the time you get close to them, anywhere close to them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, that is quite a breakaway. And also, we'll notice that the 10 of Jose Medina, he is also subsequently burned his tires up, so the leaders will be reeling him in as well.
You know, back to Randy. You know, Randy's got to be careful. He's pretty much solidly in third, but if he pushes it too far and uses up some of his tires and overheats them, and you know, he could fall victim to Randy Drumhiller, Mark Sanchez, Greg Wakinski.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to just that. This is going to be a battle over attrition. It's going to come down to he who saves the most. And a lot of drivers can't. I mean, they're not really versed on saving. I mean, is that one of your strong suits?
I feel like I do a decent job of it, but I think that you know, when I look at you know, me compared to, you know, a Gitter, a Clayton, I think that's where they are still better than I am. So that's where I feel like I have more learning to do, even though you know, I feel like I'm decent at it. But I think that difference shows, you know, when you look at the competition that's beating you.
Yeah, definitely. I've been beaten by the best, and not the best. But one thing to say though, this is probably an eye opener for a lot of guys. A lot of guys came out here, started strong. Now they're the dust is starting to settle, I guess. But I'm just always amazed at how the perspective can be different between drivers.
What do you mean by that?
Well, everybody generally they can have the same setup. They could be sitting in similar rigs or completely different rigs or homemade rigs, and yet they're fast in their own rights. Like some guys are driving G29s, and some guys are driving, you know, Hoistfelds or, you know, Fanatec, but yet It all comes down to the individual driver.
Yeah, equipment can matter, but it really does come down to the skill of the driver in most cases.
Yes, like because I'm saying
Doesn't matter what equipment you're in.
yeah, if you take a big one right there,
Uh-oh.
that is going to be J.C. Evans, and he got tangled up with the 94 Ryan Dillon. This is not good. This is going to change the entire. This is going to change the whole game here because this is what we're going to do right now. Is we're literally getting ready to replay stage one. As you see right there's the 94 just goes, drives in a little bit hard,
Oh.
keeps washing up. The 9 car trying to give him the room, but just really know where he had to go, and then he comes back off the wall, and the two do a little synchronized spinning. The 94 gets a couple of nice rotations there.
Yeah, that was that's unfortunate. Just a little bit too aggressive of a drive there in the middle of the run.
And it was not for the lead, but it's going to have huge implications on the leaders. We're all together once again. The entire field looks like they're going to be coming down pit road. This is going to be
this is exactly what Randy Mullins was looking for.
And
the likes of Randy Drumhiller, Mark, and Greg, but especially Randy Mullins, because he was part of that group, and then fell victim to something that unfortunate happened to him on pit road.
Yeah, Wojcinski as well. I mean, so if Greg can go out and have a solid overrun as he did in stage 2, I mean, we'll probably be talking to him tonight in the post-race interviews. He just has it's just how this thing plays out.
Yeah, could be. Very likely.
Yeah, it looks like Jose Medina is going to get the wave around. That'll put him back on the lead lap, and that's what he needed. Actually, he was on the lead lap. I think he was just right in front of the leader. This is that moment in the race where all that you worked for is going to come into play. And some guys are getting ready to receive a huge reward. Some guys are going to get the agony of defeat.
Yeah, now we're going to see a lot more close racing. We're not going to get so spread out here in this 25 lap run to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it's snowing in Pittsburgh. Welcome winter.
Bring it on. My local weather told me that we don't expect to see any snow this season. So I'm an avid snowboarder, snow skier. I don't like to hear that forecast. Got to go to the mountains. Got to travel.
Yeah, ski beach, or do you leave the state?
I almost always leave the state. At least go to West Virginia.
Okay.
Funny story with that is, I grew up skiing and around here, the North Carolina, Virginia mountains, and then West Virginia, and then once I got to be a young adult with some money, started going out. Went out to Colorado, and then I couldn't come back to North Carolina and go snow skiing. So that's when I started snowboarding.
Not sure what just happened there. Yeah, I understand that. Especially I've skied Colorado, so I totally get it. Not sure what's going on here, but definitely looks like J.C. Evans had a little bit of, I'm not through with you, kinda. And he comes right up and charges right into the 94.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's not going to go over well.
Guess those guys are going to find themselves in the trailer at the end of this competition. I can say it over the intercom if you want, Ken. J.C. Evans, please report to the NASCAR hauler. J.C. Evans. Bring your crew chief and head to the hauler.
Yeah, things are a little more relaxed though. We're in the off season, but that stuff's still not going to fly.
Yeah, we still got to have a little good order and discipline. Got these things doubled up again, getting ready to take this thing green one more time. 25 laps to go for those of you just joining us. The second of two cautions just came out, other than the two-stage cautions. Pit road, pit car, pace car, out the way.
Hey, you'll get it.
Green. Got a slight lead there on the 99 of Chris Severa. Chris Severa's going to be on the inside. 3 wide situation could possibly happen. Severa closes that door. Changes Randy Mullins' mind, maybe. Now, this right now is going to be a battle of position. It's a 2-car. Kendall LaRon's will be trying to get around the 99. As you see, he goes high right now. Drivers fanning around using different lines too. Gets a little loose there. Might be a little bit attributed to the cold tire conditions that they're playing right now. The 99 car, though, getting the definitive edge. He has got the nose out front, and he is definitely on pace to win this thing, Kenny.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking for who has the clean air, which is obviously Chris up front, but even in the back of the pack, who's keeping the most clean air on their nose, and who's using the low line instead of the high line, because you're going to need those tires at the end of this run.
Yeah, so where do you think is the fastest part on the racetrack to be right now? Is it the low side or is it the high side?
Yes. It's both. Chris Severa is doing exactly what I expected whoever was out front to be doing. I mean, he is using all of the track. He's using, high, going all the way down to the bottom, and then right back up high. And that is the fastest way around this thing. And until somebody gets to your inside or outside, that's the choice to do.
That is really getting crazy behind him as the 4 and the 2 definitely are starting to duke it out. Yeah, that's what's happening. These two side by side now. This is going to actually allow Severa to get just a little bit of breathing room as he's able to increase the gap as the 2 and 4 are side by side, still battling it out. And here comes Mark Sanchez, the guy we hadn't talked about since the beginning of this thing. Sanchez is slowly going to try to make his. He's going to make his nose available to be in that conversation as well, Kenny. Talking about put your nose in a book. He is doing just that.
That's right. I'm loving it. Love to see it. But I'm also keeping in mind, man, you got to have that clean air on your nose. Chris Severa is loving what he's seeing out of his back window. Kendall LeBron keeping side by side with Brian is only working both of their tires, whereas Chris is able to run exactly the line that he wants to run.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime these guys are doubled up, it just means that somebody is going slower because they're not actually able to cut the way they want to. A little touchy-feely back there going around turn 3, I believe, as these guys are digging in. Less than 20 laps to go before we actually call ourselves a winner. And if Chris Severa has anything to do about it, that's going to be a local call to him. Ooh, the 4-car Brian Johnson makes contact with Kendall LeBron. He goes slow below the white line, comes back up, saves it smooth. Going to lose a bunch of positions, but I think overall he's going to be okay. Now he's up with J.C. Evans coming side by side with Greg Wachinski. Really got tossed. It was, a solid podium chance right there. Now he's going to have to get his nose back in the books and get back up front. Kendall LeBron also suffering just a little bit as he is off the pace. That's going to allow Mark Sanchez and Randy Mullins to come up. Going to have ourselves a three-way battle for second.
Absolutely. Randy Mullins putting his nose down on the bottom there and trying to now race Kendall and LeBron once again for that second position.
Huge, just an unfortunate set of circumstances for the 4 car. He was definitely in this thing to win this thing, but just like the 10, it just didn't work out for him. And I don't think he's going to be able to battle back with just 16 laps to go. I don't think his tires are going to hold on. We'll just have to wait and see. But if he
I think that may have hurt his tires just a little bit too much. And going back to that, that happened so quick. I'm not sure, was it Kendall and Brian getting together, or was it Mark in getting a funny bump off of Brian? I'm not sure.
Nope, it was Kendall and Brian that got together there just a little bit, and that actually, like I said, that sent the 4 car out in almost into the infield. So good on Brian for holding that thing together, but I think it was to the detriment of his tires.
Definitely. And that's showing up now that Brian's all the way back in, it looks like, ninth position now.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Randy Mullins doing what he can to fend off the 2 of Kendall LeBron. Kendall has had his hand in quite a few battles here tonight. Definitely, he has been no stranger to challenge. He's actually even led a couple of laps, but now he is fighting for P2.
I just saw that the key mark I was looking for. I think Kendall's about to start falling back. He's going to fall victim to those tires on the high side. He just got really loose coming off that last corner.
Yes, absolutely. And he's going to be trying. This is the time where he's got to try to string it together. You talk about what it takes to win. It takes consistency and doing the right thing over and over again. So even though his tires are starting to scream a little bit, because these guys they've been battling here for this last 20 laps of this cycle. So now these guys have got to run perfect laps with crappy tires.
And Chris Severa is up front, showing the veteran that he is. If you watch him, he's playing with the dirty air on the second and third place positions there.
And he's doing that by not going in a straight line. Yeah, definitely that. In dirty air, I mean it's a big deal.
So here's Mark Sanchez's chance here. Kendall got loose on the upper side there.
Really loose up in the granulars. And we saw Kendall get up high in the granulars last time. Oh, the 4 car.
Oh, we got contact.
Gets into it with Randy Drumheller. No caution as of yet.
Not going to be one.
Tires are definitely at their wear point right now. These are not good years. These are bad years.
Yeah, I can't imagine the frustration with Brian right now. He had the car, but I think his tires just aren't there anymore.
Yeah, indeed, he did have a strong car. He unloaded a rocket ship, and he had a lot of opportunities to show us just how fast indeed his car was. But right now, it just seems like his time is up because he is just even struggling to maintain pace. But the story, though, of the night, I think it is Chris Severa, the 99 car, starting this thing back in 12th place and battling and driving all the way up to be your leader as well as your Stage 2 winner, Kenny. And I don't think he's really looked back since Stage 2.
Yeah, I think Chris came in with a plan, and he's stuck to that plan and showed us the veteran that he is.
The lights are on here at the Chicagoland Speedway. Ralph is postured up in the flag stand, ready to wave whatever of the 3 flags that comes next.
Whoa, we got contact back there for 4th, Greg Wachinski, and was that Kendall? Kendall LeBron. Kendall is out of shape.
Yeah, Kendall definitely sliding around a lot back there.
We're closing in on about 6 to go. Ready to be 5 to go here. Does Mark have enough to get to Randy? Does Randy have enough to get to Chris?
Yeah, this is beyond go time now. 5 laps to go at the line. Drivers,
and everything he had to say about Brian, look where Brian is now. He's made himself up to 4th.
Whoa!
And the fastest on the track.
Little run back across the grass, 5 to go. He's cutting the grass horse, pulling the Kenny Powell actually. Get that Mustang out there, son. It ain't time to be feeding it grass. And he is definitely got himself in a pickle. It's going to take the toe. And that's probably going to all but end his evening here. Chris Severo with 5 laps to go. He is the man in the seat, making it happen. But like you said, good old Brian Johnson for actually battling all the way back up and getting that thing in 4th place. And he still has a little bit of time to maybe pick up another spot. Big gap between the 4 and the 44 of Randy Drumhiller. This shows just how handedly Brian Johnson was when he came back. We were actually having a conversation about how bad his tires are, and here he is, possibly got a chance to run down the 3rd place car, the pole sitter actually, even the 29th car, Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, I think Brian, he got out of shape with that situation with Kendall, lost a bunch of spots, but showing the veteran that he is, set back, cooled his tires, regained his composure, and now he's making that charge to the front, and he continues to be the fastest on the track.
Yeah, especially with 2 to go now. I mean, really, this is what it comes down to. Chris Vera just having to make his way around the racetrack just a couple more times. The other drivers having to pull everything out. I mean, it's time to dump your duffels.
I think we are getting ready to see a nail biter. It may not be for the win, the top position, but I think we're going to be 3 wide here coming across the line for 2nd.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just watching. And I'm telling you, the 29 car, he is all over the place. Brian Johnson now on the inside of Frank Sanchez. Sanchez into the wall. That's definitely going to curb his enthusiasm just a little bit, but he's still able to stave off Brian Johnson in the 4 car. Sanchez definitely has his eyes set.
And this is it, coming to the line. Who will it be?
He's
micro-focused. That 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
I think he's going to get it. Chris Severo, your winner. Here tonight, winner, chicken dinner. Randy Mullins coming across in P2. Mark Sanchez in 3rd. Brian Johnson to come across in 4th. Randy Drumhiller 5th. 6th place shows Greg Wojcinski. 7th place Jose Medina. 8th place J.C. Evans with 9th place Ryan Dillon. 10th LeBron Kendall. 11th place Derek Jacobs. 12th place Rodrigo Loga. Kenny Powell in 13th and Dave Future Jr. rounds out this 14-car field. A lot of excitement. Gonna watch and see Chris Severo celebrates and burns them down. We'll come up with an official rating card here for our drivers' burnouts, and just try to give a burnout the best burnout award at the end of the season. Some type of prophylactic.
I don't think he forgot to do it or forgot how to do it.
Oh yeah, he's definitely burning them down. Way to go, Chris Severo, and definitely a well-deserved win here tonight.
Yeah, I was hearing him talk before the race, and if we remember, he was showing the 99 Aflac colors, but he told me that he's lost that sponsor, so he picked up a new sponsor here, and but maybe Aflac is a little sorry they severed that sponsorship.
Yeah, they might have cut ties just a little bit too soon. I tell you what, though, Kenny, we got to step away to pay some bills. We will be right back. This is going to be just a short break, and we'll be right back with our post-race coverage. And we are back with the discovery of ISCA Recruitment. Nice. I mean, you unloaded something. A lot of people didn't get to see it because it was kind of back in the field, but I'm going to tell you, it was a rocket ship. Congratulations getting it done, stage 2, and bringing it home at the end. What do you got to say for us?
Yeah, it's just a bit of luck there at the end. I timed the restart pretty well, and I just held it flat and 1 and 2, and it stuck. And just from there, it was aero games. So, if we don't get that restart, who knows where we finish. But yeah, clean air was definitely huge there at the end. It's a shame we got cautioned. It would have been fun to run it out there with Brian. We were playing mind games with each other. It's like, who's gonna run? Am I gonna run your pace? Or are you gonna run my pace? We push for a corner, save for more corners. It was all great back and forth.
Yeah, it was definitely great back and forth racing. And it was the most awesome racing to see, especially in the winter season. Who would have thought you'd come out here and see such an awesome, nose to nose competition? But you got it done.
Yeah, man. Just like I said, it's a lot of close racing with these guys. I love to be out here when I can, and hopefully I'll get a couple more Fridays off, and maybe I might be out here for the Super Cup Series.
Yeah, definitely. Be looking forward to that, Chris, man. I tell you what, we'll keep this one short. So who you shouting out tonight for your overall victory here at Chicagoland Speedway?
Oh, man. Just everyone at G&G for the support. I literally jumped into this last minute, and they're all ready to go with resources needed to run these races. But yeah, Kenny especially for putting on the league. It's growing year after year, and it's just you're getting a lot of competitive guys in here. So, I mean, I would think if you're not running fixed, if you want to run open, this is the place to be. The A opens are just so hit and miss, but these guys are just so consistent week after week.
Yeah, Roger that. You heard him, ladies and gentlemen. This is the place to be. Congratulations again to you, Chris, for bringing it home here overall. Who was shouting out tonight for your victory?
Yeah, just Kenny Powell and everyone at G&G, and you guys as always for the broadcast that you put on week after week. You guys do a great job.
All right, man. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at the ISCA Recruitment 200. This race is going to be going on. We'll be racing this, not just this particular track, but we will be following the schedule. We'll be racing hosted races every Thursday night coming to you live at 0930 Eastern Standard Time. Please tune in. Once again, I'm your host, Big Al. Giving a big shout out to Kenny Powell, my main man down below, Kobe Jordan, and all of the drivers that came out tonight to give us something to watch and enjoy. Until next week.
I found the ISCA after I'd been in the service for a long time. I'd been in iRacing for well over a decade and spent most of my time in NASCAR series, a lot of fixed racing for the most part, and really just got to a point in my iRacing career where I really wanted to get involved in open setup racing versus fixed, partially because I was just looking for a little higher level of competition, maybe a little cleaner driving, and maybe get away from some of the challenges that go along with fixed racing on the service. And it took me a while as I was really searching out leagues, because I kind of had a very specific thing I was looking for. I wanted to be an established league, B, I just really wanted clean, quality drivers to be racing around. And once I found the ISCA, I found out really quick that it was going to check all those boxes, and I've been with the ISCA